Yeah. Better in the night than in the day.
Wanneer komt die geloof?
Our life is never guaranteed, but we must put food on the table. We never can think about our circumstance. Our circumstances can change. So we must put our faith in the Lord for our daily benefit. It's not by a company or by a white man we come work. It's only I put my faith in the Lord. I put my net in the water. I can't see the fish, but I must put my faith in Him. With nothing, I get something.
There are approximately 30,000 small-scale fishers spread out across 140 communities in South Africa. A small-scale fisher would essentially be an individual that would fish for own consumption and also to sell a little bit of that. The contribution of fish as an easily accessible and cheap form of protein is, I think, critically important for many households and fisher communities in South Africa. It's a lifeline. I don't think for one moment that people are just going to see that way of life just disappearing. It's really something so intricate to how people see themselves, how they see their identities. When they talk about their lives, when they talk about their activities, when they talk about their communities, there's a spiritual connection. It's evident.
Fishing is who we are. Fishing, it's our culture, man. Fishing defines how we interact with each other. If we can't see the sea, it means death to us. The sea makes things alive. It's our livelihood. If you will allow us that who we are being taken away from us, it's like you're taking away our God. So, if small-scale fishing are gone in South Africa, literally you are saying to me that the food of our kids are no more. There's nothing else is worse to think about it. We are witnessing it, we're seeing it, we struggle with it.
It is clear that in my engagement with fishers, with fishing communities, that the issue at stake is more than just access to a resource. Yes, that may be the immediate concern and one acknowledges that, but the bigger issue in my estimation is fishers are responding in the way that they're responding because what is happening is a threat to their way of life. Because essentially that is what fishing is about. It's not just a political matter, it's not just a policy matter, but it's a matter of life and death. We realize that there is a close connection between our theology and how that theology engages societal issues. And if there is a threat, that really is a theological problem that needs to be addressed. The history of South Africa is quite complex. We've got a history of colonialism, a history of apartheid, a history of racial separation and the oppression of certain groups in South Africa, particularly Black South Africans. And racial separation, before it became a political issue is by and large something that emanates from what happened in our churches, what happened amongst religious people, and that ultimately had an impact on the politics in this country. That same theology also gave rise to liberation theologies, black theologies, that ultimately had a significant impact on dismantling the apartheid system. We've realized as scholars of theology and religion, especially here in South Africa, that we can ill afford to talk about theology or knowledge of God in an abstract sense, because theology and what happens in society is closely connected. So in that sense, the plight of fishing communities really is, whether we like it or not, the plight of the South African community.
Die visvang hier in Lammersbay en in die Weskus het 'n bietjie afgekom. Na al die jare het ons snoek en die kuipbreem soos ons noem, die hotnotvis het ons sommer gevang elke dag in die wintertye en somertye. Maar nou in die tyd 2021, 2022 het alles afgekom. Die seeomstandighede is nie meer dieselfde soos dit gewees het nie.
We have to ask ourselves, where did things go wrong?
Die menseverstand het begin beweeg na van oorlewing af, het die menseverstand oorgeskakel na rykdom. En you know, om 'n miljonair te wees is, kies 'n miljonair vir wat? You know?
Yes, we got 1
Maar
million. you
ons
make a
as
millionaire
vissers-
anymore.
Ons as vissers streven nie daarna om miljonairs te word nie. Ons streven maar net daarna om ons gesin te voed en te onderhou. Dit is hoekom ons nog met handelinge werk, met gangnette werk. En ons verstand gaan draai om oorlewing. Sommige mense se verstand gaan om ryk word. Dit is hoekom hulle die tipe toerusting gebruik wat nie omgewingsvriendelik is nie. Want hy wil in 'n week se tyd 1 miljoen rand se vis vang. Verstaan? Die grootste probleem wat ek sien van die regering se kant af is, die regering dink niks van ons nie. Hulle sit daar en hulle neem 'n besluit oor ons, né? Maar hulle kom nie om by ons te kom hoor hoe die ding moet gedoen word nie.
The thing about this planet we call home, we need the earth. The earth don't need us. And the way we are going on and destroying everything and putting the balance of nature out of equilibrium, it's quite sad that people think now in the name of massive profits and to build generational wealth, I can do this. I can trample all over people and their livelihood and the traditional way of doing things.
It is totally disrupting this community. For me, we need to restore our livelihoods. And our livelihoods is, how did we care about the environment? How did we care about each other? In the past, we grown up in a culture of sharing. That culture are becoming a forgotten culture. Nowadays, it's about a different industry. the application for fishing rights, it's a very difficult process for them and they are not used to it. And that's one of the reasons that so many of them fall out of the system.
Our livelihoods are in danger. The government is giving the quotas and the inheritance to big companies, but we as the small people, we as the people on the ground that is making a living out of the sea, we don't get anything.
Sê, jy het 'n permit. Maar die permit is beperk. Hy is beperk. Jy kry 'n hoeveelheid vis om met die permit per dag in die seewater uit te haal. 10 van die visse, 5 van die, 2 van die.
Wat die vis met die quota system bring is, ek weet nie wat nou gewaagd is om het so te stel, maar dit is om honde in 'n hok te hou vir 'n tydjie per en 'n paar bene aan te gooi. Die honde gaan mekaar verskeer oor hy kaal bene. Dit is wat die system, dit is wat die system doen. En ons weet nie of die authorities het altyd besef nie. Of hulle het altyd besef dat dit is wat eintlik gebeur hieronder. Dis wat ek net gesê het, ons word later katterig onder mekaar because die resources is so min om mee te survive.
Omgegee vir mekaar, maar daai is besig om te kwyn in ons gemeenskap as gevolg van dit wat Wilfred net toe genoem het, die regering wat ons knou, die petrolpryse, die vis wat skaars word. Jy kan nie meer amper bekostig om vir iemand 'n vis verniet weg te gee nie. En dit maak seer. Dit maak seer want jy het groot geword met die gewoonte. Jy deel, daar is genoeg om te deel vir ander mense. Ons maak seker dat almal vanaand iets het om te eet voor jy gaan slaap. Maar vanaand moet jy worry oor, het my buurvrou se kinders iets gehad om te eet vanaand? Die feit dat ons kinders nie meer kan gaan visvang soos hulle wil of in aktiwiteite gaan besig word, maak dat hulle voel afgesny en dit dryf die kinders. Hulle kan nie meer doen wat hulle lief is om te doen nie. En dit veroorsaak dat ons hulle kinders in dwelms verval, alkoholmisbruik, ons kinders verval in tienerswangerskappe.
I would just like to see that there comes some sort of stability regarding the future of this generation and the smaller one, their generation, and the generation to come after that.
En ek glo dat dit moet bewaar word vir die nageslag. Want daar's baie ongeskoelde mense wat baie kennis het van die rivierlewe. Hulle is ongeskool, hulle is nie geletterd om by die instansies aangeneem te word vir werk die myne en so, maar hulle het baie goeie kennis van die water, want hulle kan vir jou elke plek langs die rivier uitdui waar, aandui, wat is daai plek, waar gaan hulle staan, waar gaan hulle visvang.
You cannot make a fisher a doctor, engineer, of any occupation because they believe what they had. They left the school earlier in their years and they go net out of the river for fish because they believe that is their income for their family householding.
Things come to a point where we must take action and take a decision on things what bring harm to the environment. Because if you look in the past, our forefathers was trying to protect, and now the new generation come and will destroy.
Maar voorheen was dit die groot mense, die oudvissers, wat die wette gehandhaaf het in die jonge geslagte het, dit so uitgevoer soos die groot mense dit wou gehad het. As die mense aan die wal gekom het in die rivier, dan was dit vrye vir almal om te kom viswerk. En vis was so volop gewees. Dat dan jy nooit amper vis. Sommer net as mense wil vis hê dat jy vir hulle gegee. Sonder dat jy gevoel het, maar daar gaan nou iets van jou salaris af. Ek wil sê tot hier waar ek vanmiddag sit. Ek is baie bly vir die lewe en die pad wat ons aangekom het. En ek sal nog steeds wil hê dat die vissery moet aangaan. Ek sal steeds voel die vissery moet aangaan, want die water is nie net 'n water, het is 'n lewende water wat lewe gee vir ons mense.
Small-scale fisheries in South Africa is important, not just for superficial reasons in terms of people wanting certain things, but it's an expression of who they are. It's an expression of their livelihoods, their identity. It's a matter of life and death.
It's the ocean make you realize how dependable that you are on God. Many of those fishes haven't got a relationship with the church, but they do have a relationship with God.
But let me tell you something, my brothers. The time when Jesus decided to gather his disciples, he was going to the fishes. And he selected from the fishes, he selected the disciples.
Dat was mijn keizer.
And what I want to tell you by that is, even in the eyes of human beings, we are nothing. But in the eyes of God, we are
great fellows.
We are great fellows. Yeah. Thank you for that, Uncle John.
Amen.
Amen.
We know we are special in the eyes of God. I want the world to respect it. And the way you respect it is to respect our way of living as fishers. It's not only about fishing. It's about our relationship with our Creator.
The nuances in terms of who we are, often that is, you could say, the collateral damage when it comes to this unified world that we are working towards when thinking about globalization. And with that also comes, as humanity, as people, we lose some of the distinct features of what we are about in our various ways and many facets that gives expression to what we call human beings. There's something quite distinct about fishing communities. Much will be lost if they cease to exist.
Okay.
Je kan net in woorden als het van mij gezien hebt. Ja. Goed genoeg.
Zal ik nog om verder als langklip te gaan?
Mali. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow morning.